We are checking in with some tarot tips and a collective tarot read. So come join us and let's have some fun.
If you guys are coming on and joining us, have your tarot cards or your oracle cards ready to pull a personal card for yourself when we get to the collective card read, because I got our cards pulled. I'm ready to go.
Yep. Collectively, as a group, we'll get to that in just a moment. And for those of you who are just getting to know us,
I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From ZenRoseGarden.com,
home of Zen-Ed Academy. So we built Zen Rose Garden in 2008 to help people through some of the hardest traumas and emotional upsets of life.
So we are always locked and loaded to help you guys connect for yourself. And we're bringing you some feel good and support how we can. We got
all
you.
the things. As you guys come on, let us know that you're here with a hashtag live tribe. Or if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay fam.
Yep, that's right. So I talk about what did you?
That's right.
That's right. Well, I have this.
You got the hat.
I've got my Wu-Tang shirt on. I've got my little flannel on. I got my camo and I got my crystal ball around my neck. So I've got all the things right now. So, but I talk about spiritual self-reliance a lot because I think it is one of the most important things that we can have for ourselves.
Yep.
Spiritual self-reliance. And that is our job that we take very seriously as teachers to help you have the most clarity and joy that you can have no matter what life throws at you. And drop your personal card in the comments while we give you guys a quick tip on tarot and the collective read for all of us. This is it seems really simple. And this is a question I get sometimes from students, and it's about reversals. Call this the reversal.
Flip it down and reverse it.
This is the reversal handoff trick. Let's say that you are sitting with a client and you do read reversals, because I encourage all of our students to start reading reversals from the beginning so they get used to it. Right. But let's say that you have your client in front of you and they shuffle the cards. So you're going to hand the cards to the client. They're going to shuffle, and you're going to assume that the right side up is the top, like the right way is the way that they're shuffling it. So when you take your cards from your client, you be my client.
I'm your client.
So he's let's assume that David has shuffled his cards. Okay, he's the client. I let my client shuffle any way they want to. I have a particular way to shuffle if I'm shuffling and we're not person to person. But if your client is shuffling, they're going to shuffle however they want. And you're telling me when you're done.
I'm done.
Okay, so you're going to hand them to me.
Here.
But hold on. Just
have them.
So you're going to take the cards from your client and you're going to turn them around. So as I put them like this would be reversed for the client because it came up upside down. So the object of this, the point of it, is to make sure that you always know which way the deck is facing. Because sometimes your client just hands them to you, here you go, and you've lost track about where the reversal is. See what I mean? It's a really simple thing, but sometimes we get confused. So when your client is shuffling, pay attention to how they're shuffling facing them and how they hand them to you. And then you can, if you are doing the reading with you out like this, then you just do that, or you turn it around and face. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope I'm explaining this without totally screwing it up. Then when you take it, you just keep an eye on where the reversal is and you turn it so it's the same way for you as it is for them. So you know where the reversals are because they shuffled it and put their energy into the cards. That makes sense?
It is time for the collective card of the day.
The cards I pulled for the collective for all of us today is, the first one was, damn, we're getting a lot of swords in these readings. So the first one is the Three of Swords reversed, which the Three of Swords upright really sucks, I think, regardless. But the Three of Swords reversed is thankfully less torture than its upright position. But where the Three of Swords upright is sort of like pain inflicted by other people, like a third party, a third wheel. The Three of Swords reversed is sort of a self-inflicted pain. So it's kind of
just
about
a flesh wound.
It's kind of about having a tendency to dwell on the pain inflicted by a situation.
Nice inflection there.
What it's kind of telling us is to not dwell on the pain of the situation. And the funny thing about the Three of Swords in reverse, it is kind of about alienating yourself from the outside world. External losses, right, can cycle into us in a negative way and begin to cause kind of an internal disorder within us, right? And that can ooze out and come back to us and cause more isolation. So we can create this negative loop that we create in our head that might have been triggered by the initial situation, but we don't want to extend it and we don't want to keep that ball rolling, because when this is all over, we want to kind of flow back into a good flow for us. So it's the 3 of Hearts reversed is about self-inflicted torture, unless you're into that and you like dungeons
and dragons.
The qualifier card is the 8 of Swords reversed.
And reverse it.
Is about hopelessness. It's about feeling trapped. It's about the fragile nature of life and death. The feeling of being a helpless prisoner in a devastating crisis, being unable to move or having a terrible sickness of some sorts. And when we say the words, "this too shall pass," it's because we absolutely would rather be anywhere else than where we are right now. Nothing is comfortable if you were the figure in the card. So what is this calling us to do? Really be mindful of the state of your mind. I mean,
mindful of the state of your mind.
They say there's people that can have such a positive outlook that even when they're in prison, a prisoner in, some sort of situation that was not of their choosing, they can maintain that positive attitude. So I think that's one of the most important things, and it keeps coming up in the cards. Let's maintain a positive attitude and not create a situation in our minds that's going to be really hard to shake off once this thing is over.
Or keep you trapped in that prolonged state, because no matter what is going on in the world outside of you, you have this world inside of you. You have the world inside of your own head, and you get to make that whatever you want it to be. So if you want to feel like you're trapped in your house, then you're going to create that reality up here. If you want to make something up inside of your head that feels better, that allows you to maybe process, and Enoch was talking about what kind of a day he was having. He's like, man, it's some kind of day today. It's okay to have those days, but give yourself an out here. Give yourself a better feeling here, because this you have control over. You don't have control over what is going on outside. You do have control over what is going on inside of your own mind.
Yeah, like I say, we didn't come on for a couple of days because I got triggered myself. Just had some things come up from when my kids were little, mommy stuff.
Right.
I had mommy stuff come up because I felt like my kids are they're 29 and 26, right? So they're pretty self-reliant adults, but I was having some mommy stuff, and I was crying on the kitchen floor like, I can protect my babies, right? But they're perfectly capable of protecting themselves. So I had some stuff of my own to deal with.
Right.
Knew I had to deal with it and came back.
So if you have not already dropped it, pull a card and drop it now. If not, if you don't have a card, pick one out of the imaginary tarot deck in your head. Think fast and drop it like it's hot in the comments.
So tell us what your card is speaking to you today. I want you to feel into it, because this is like, let's get real intuitive with it. Close your eyes, first impulse, and we will drop some insight
as we go.
So we want you to trust your own intuition.
Yes.
Spiritual self-reliance. And that's our job as teachers, to help you be the most best badass reader you can be.
Yep.
But let's get to some cards.
All right.
And questions.
So we got Mel that says, can you tell me what it means when you get the same card every reading? I always get the Ace of Cups appear for me when I pull a few cards for myself.
The Ace of Cups is such a beautiful card. It's really about a holy union, a new beginning, a truth. I mean, it's about the truth of something beginning. It can be a new relationship, a new beginning. It could be coming up for you time and time again, because renewing that relationship with your life, with yourself. Yeah, renewing the holiness that is your beingness, your life, your everything. I read a book a long time ago that was called The Sacred Something of Everyday Life. It was like 25, 30 years ago, but the holiness of everyday life or something like that. And it really brought that to me, that every single day can be holy for you, that you are a holy being in this holy experience. And we take for granted the everyday things that we do, instead of, wow, this is like the most amazing cup of tea I've ever had. I know that when we sit down and have dinner, it's like taking sacrament of some sort. It's like we eat dinner now and it's so delicious. So I think if it keeps coming up for you, think about the holiness of your experience, because the Ace of Cups, it's got the chalice on it, right? So it has like reference to
fountain of youth,
communion. It has reference to the holy table of, the sacraments of communion, of the bread and the wine. So
to me, when you've got a card that continues showing up, or a sign that continues showing up, or something that keeps showing up in your life, chances are you need to be reminded. You need to be reminded of whatever that thing is. So once you step into the awareness of, okay, that when you have acclimated or integrated whatever the message is, then it tends to stop showing up. Or if you go out and you look at a particular type of a car, you can see that car more frequently on the road. So there's also that element too, which is like, okay, I'm working on this thing, or I've got this thought in my mind, so it's going to keep showing up.
So I think the Ace of Cups, a lot of people go for this sort of generic meaning, which is it's the beginning of love and the beginning of emotions, but really it's about something holier and sacred. It's about, and if it's coming up for you personally, it's about renewing that sacred union with yourself, with your soul. I hope that helps.
And apparently Enoch and Cheryl both got the Four of Cups.
Oh my goodness.
Enoch got it in reverse, and Cheryl got it straight up.
Well, so I'll give you kind of a general feel of the Four of Cups is really about, sometimes we get really jaded. Sometimes we don't realize the resources that we have, and we're refusing them because it's like the grass is greener on the other side of the
except for your cups.
Right? So it's sort of like, look at what you have and what's valuable that you already have in your field of awareness and have gratitude for it.
Or in Enoch's case, look at what is leaving and have gratitude for it, because he got it flipped.
Yeah, it could be the end.
Maybe it's the same cup.
The Four of Cups tends to be about family, what your family has given you. It can be about inheritance, about your legacy. I think of it a lot of times like the stubborn teenager card. Like, my mom and dad don't know anything. You know what I mean? So it can be about being stubborn and a little jackass,
and I think today's theme is cups. Yes. Because we got 2 of the 4 of Cups, we got the Ace of Cups, we also got the 10 of Cups, which is the one that Mel had actually pulled. She said, I got the 10 of Cups, and I like to look at the back of the deck, and what do you know? Ace of Cups. So for 10 of Cups, to me, it means that my family and I are happy, prospering, and on the right path.
I love the 10 of Cups.
Awesome read.
Who doesn't want the 10 of Cups? Yep. Because it's the 10 of Cups is about, you've got what you need, you got your family, you got your, your everything with you. The 10 of Cups is like that ultimate emotional fulfillment of abundance and love and everybody with you. I love that so much.
Alan says, I keep getting the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. Those are actually some really good cards
to freaking awesome.
Yeah, to keep getting. So let's break down the Fortune or Wheel of Fortune and Justice. So what is your take, your intuitive read, your intuitive impulse on those 2 cards? And what do they mean to you intuitively? And when I'm talking about intuition, intuitive reads, we're talking about going with your first impulse, going with the first thought to come to mind, going with whatever story jumps out of the card, whatever part of the card jumps out at you. Well, and that could include numerology, that could include colors, that can, whatever it is. When we're talking about intuitive reads, which is a beginning to tarot, not the whole in-depth tarot, but intuitive reads are a beginning step to learning tarot.
Intuitive tarot guides you into the tarot. And we learn the tarot from the outside edges in. And we start that by looking at the card, seeing what it sparks in us, seeing what feelings it brings up, what memories, what emotions, what thought, anything that comes to us. And we create the story from that. As we learn the meanings of the cards, and there are several layers of meanings, and as you layer each meaning into your book of knowledge in your head,
brain,
it becomes richer and richer and richer. So intuitive tarot, let the card pull you in and don't be afraid of what comes out of your own brilliance.
Yes.
Because intuitive reading is about your brilliance, how you connect to it, what it feels like for you.
And that gets deeper the more knowledge that you put into your brain. Okay, so your intuitive read, and she says, I felt that they were good at that the karma I'm putting out is coming back, but not sure if I was right. And that's a common thing, is the building of confidence in that first impulse.
Be right.
Be right. Whatever you think it is, it can always change later. but go with that confidently. Step into, this is what I think, and it's right now.
Here's the thing about tarot is that it tends to have multiple meanings over time. So it can, your first impulse, go with it, because
you're right, and then you're right again.
It can have layers of meaning through time. So go ahead and let yourself be right on that, because as you let yourself be right, you're going to be right more often. So when you start to go, I don't know if I'm right, because usually it's coming from, wow, there's this whole, I don't know, the deep esoteric philosophical meaning of the card. That's not necessary when you're starting.
So play like a child and be right the first time.
So the Wheel of Fortune is about a change in fortune. There's slightly different meanings from the French school to the English school, but in general, the Wheel of Fortune is a change in fortune for the better. The Justice card is about justice, and the Justice card can be literally about the legal world, the lawyer's law. It could mean that you're going to win a lawsuit, because the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice together, you're going to have a payout for something you deserve. Or it could just simply mean you are now, the wheels of justice are turning philosophically in your favor.
Both.
So
to me, you've got the Justice, which is the wheels turning in your favor, and then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheels of Justice and the Wheel of Fortune are both working for you. Just saying. Might be an awesome spread.
I think those are good.
Might be an awesome couple cards there for you. So let us know if that makes sense for you, Helen. Funny thing, here we go with the cups and the synchronicities. 10 of Cups was on the bottom of my deck. So you guys just had flipped reversed decks today.
Okay, Helen says, yes, it makes sense.
Yes.
Awesome.
Good. And does that give you a little bit more as far as confidence goes, as far as trusting your intuition and going with intuitive reads? Does that help now?
We got the Prince of Swords reversed over there.
Prince of Swords, that's Jenny. So Jenny, let us know what that means to you and the Prince of Swords. I think that would be
probably
the
page. Probably the Knight.
Prince?
The page is not a prince. Equate to the Knight, because
Prince
otherwise
is Purple Rain.
Otherwise, well, the page is the knight's bitch. So the prince is not a bitch. So the knight, the page is learning to be a knight. So the prince is usually, it depends on how, if it's indicating a person in your life. The Prince of Swords is questing after what he wants in life. So the prince or the knight, which would be equivalent of swords upright, is just kind of like a balls to the wall kind of person, going after what he wants in the world, or she wants. But reversed, it could be someone who's determined with ambition, but a little bit softer. So like maybe the Prince of Swords upright might be like telling you something really boldly and blatantly, and it shocks you. But reversed, the communication might be a little softer, but still truthful and
accurate. Yeah, accurate
bold.
with a softness.
Bold with a softness. So it could be telling you to be soft, but bold, but soft, but not. You know what I mean?
Cheryl, you rock. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. A quick moment to tell you about our online community where our Zen Eds hang out, and where we, as of a couple years ago, teach all of our courses, including our comprehensive tarot course.
So Zen Ed Academy was an idea that grew from our love of teaching workshops here in Las Vegas in person since 2008. We saw a change coming in the online space, and we wanted to create something bigger, something more. So we opened our online school in 2017, where now we have a tribe of powerhouse, very silly students who connect and improve their skills 24 hours a day. So Zen Ed Academy is a fully operational healing center that fits in the palm of your hand. It didn't just happen overnight. We've been improving it for a while now.
Quite a while. So it's not just some pop-up class that is gone when it's done.
It's like learn to make a crystal grid or whatever you can just grab for free on YouTube. But meaningful courses that you can't find on Google.
If you want in, we did make it easy to access not just one class, but over 16 seriously deep PhD-backed courses to binge on to your heart's content.
Plus all the lifetime replays.
All of them. Check that out in the description, and I'm going to be dropping the link right there. Check it out. Since you guys have watched this far, be sure to check out the goodies we got for you. We got a link in the description below. If you like this video,
hit the like button.
And If you want to see more videos like this, all the silliness,
Be sure to subscribe.
and don't forget, as usual, to spankety spank that bell to turn notifications on
so you're the first to know.
when we drop it like it's hot, drop a new video.
Or go live.
And now it's time to check out these videos over here and over here and over here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Love you guys.